Hello everyone, my name is Miguel Alexander Arteta León. I am a student of Universidad Técnica Particular de Loja in the career of Ciencias de la Educación, mention Inglés, in the subject English syntax. Okay, for today I'm going to talk about active, middle, and passive voice. So this is my identification card. So let's start. So in a syntactic construction, we have to be aware about the voice. Okay, we have three different types of voice, but we have two principal voices, like active and passive. But the relation between active and passive voice results in the third voice called middle voice. So how is this relation? So let's analyze the definition of each one. So first we have active voice. This focuses on the subject, noun phrase, that performs an action. Is the principal actor, okay? Is the agent, is the doer, is, as we said, is the principal actor. So in the next, we have the passive voice. This focuses on the subject, the noun phrase, affected by an action. Okay, is the experiencer or the receiver of an action. Okay, so in the first active, we talk about a doer, and in passive voice, we talk about the receiver. So in the third, or finally, we have the middle voice, that in this case, the agent and the receiver of the action might be the same, or maybe is not definite in the construction, in the syntactic construction. So in this case, the relation between the other ones is in the middle voice, the subject is the doer and the receiver at the same action. Okay, and is the doer and the receiver at the same time. The principal difference between the active and passive voice is, as we said, in the active voice, we highlight the agent, the doer, or the performer of the actions, okay? But in the passive voice, we highlight the receiver or the experiencer of an action. How about the uses? In the active voice, we use it to define who did an action. So we define who is the principal actor of this syntactic construction. But in the passive voice, we use this when we don't know who is the doer of the action, or maybe it's not important because it's implicit who is the doer. Okay, but in the other way, we can mention the doer in the passive voice using a prepositional phrase using by. Okay, and next the doer. That is another subject. Let's analyze the examples. In the first case, we have the active voice with the doer in red color and the action in blue color. For example, in the first sentence, we have Pablo Neruda. Pablo Neruda is the doer. And next we have wrote, the action, the verb. And next we have the complement, that is a direct object, love poems, that is a book. Okay. Next we have car, doer in red color, repair, the action, the printer yesterday. Amelia is a doer, sent an action, her homework on time. Okay. And finally we have first the doer, my girlfriend, action gave me, and the complement, a beautiful bracelet yesterday. Okay. So in this case, we highlight who is the doer. Okay. In active voice, who is the principal actor? Who is the doer? The doer of the action. But in the receiver, in the passive voice, sorry, we highlight the receiver. And optionally, we can talk about the doer. But the principal thing in the passive voice is to highlight the receiver. So in the first example, we have the test was designed by the teacher. Okay, the test is the receiver, doer, the teacher. Okay. In the other case, we have the money has been counted. So in this sentence, we don't have the doer, this action. We have only the receiver, the money. So in this case, we don't define who counts the money. Maybe the cashier, or maybe we don't know. So in this case, the most important part is the receiver, the money. Another example says the budget was defined by the government. So in this case, we have the parts, the receiver, that is the most important, and we have the government, that is the doer. Finally, we have the bills were paid last week. So the bills receiver, but we don't have the doer. So we don't know who paid the bills. So it's important to check this part about the construction of the active and passive voice, about the structure. Because in the active voice, first is the noun, that is the action, is the doer, plus the verb, plus the complement. Okay, is the classic structure of active voice. But we can change from active voice to passive voice, paying attention with the structure. Because in the passive voice, first is the noun, that first is the direct object, okay? Not the subject, not the doer, okay? First is the noun, that is the direct object, plus be, plus the participle, and the modifiers that are in the complement, okay? So paying attention in this part, that in the passive voice, we highlight the receiver. First, we have to pay attention in the direct object. For example, changing from those examples to passive voice, we have Pablo Neruda wrote love poems in active. Changing to passive, we have to change first love poems in the first part, because this is the direct object, this is the receiver. So the changing to passive voice, we have love poems was written by Pablo Neruda. Okay, in this case, it's important to highlight the word to, because we are talking about a book. Okay, in the most of cases when we are talking about books and authors, it's important to mention it. But here is important, or the most important part is the receipt. Was great. The love poems was great by Pablo Neruda. So the next example is the same. The printer was repaired yesterday. Okay. In this case, we don't mention car. So it's option. The other example, changing. Amelia sent her homework on time from active voice changing to passive. We have the homework was sent on time. We don't say the doer, the action. And finally, changing from active voice, my girlfriend gave me a beautiful bracelet yesterday, changing to passive, we have, I was given a beautiful bracelet yesterday. We don't define the action, the doer. We only highlight the receiver of this action. So finally, we have the middle voice. As we notice in the production, the principal difference between the other voices, active and passive, is that here we cannot categorize neither the agent nor the receiver of an action, okay? Because it's related to reflexive pronouns, since the agent performs an action on himself, okay? As we said, in this case, the subject is the doer and the receiver, okay? Let's analyze this part, the reflexive pronouns, because in these examples, we can highlight in red color the reflexive pronouns, themselves, itself, himself, but in this case we don't have. But let's analyze one by one. For example, the spiders have tried to kill themselves. Okay, in this case, the spider, the subject, the action have tried to kill themselves. The spiders are the doer and also are the receiver. And also we have in this syntactic construction a reflexive pronoun, themselves. Then let's go with the other one. My dog is scratching itself. My dog is the performer and also the receiver at the same time. And also we have the reflexive pronoun. Let's go with the other example. David warmed himself by blowing into his hands. Okay. In this case, we highlight also the reflexive pronoun, but the principal subject or the principal actor is David. But David is the performer and also is the receiver of the same action, okay, at the same time. And also David is the performer and is the receiver. And finally, in this syntactic construction, my father shaved in the bathroom. We don't have a reflexive pronoun, but it's not definite. But also is understood, also is implicit idea that my father shaved himself in the bathroom. Okay, and also as the other examples, the agent and receiver are the same subject at the same time. Okay, that's all. That's the principal resource. And thank you very much.